Hey, there we are. Hello, everyone.
Yep. Good? Ready
to go?
All right. Hey, everybody.
I have a pile of plushies here that are going to help me press the button.
Show our plushie pile.
So we have this boy and this boy? Question mark? I don't know.
This dude.
Friend, Cube. And they're going to help me push this button.
And we got another little plushie. We got this tiny little, look at this.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable. That's adorable. I love it.
Here, you can hold him too.
Oh my gosh.
We got all the voodoo dolls. All right. So my name is Gumjaw. We got Proto here. We got Retro from Hype Central on the couch behind us as a casual observer. This is Mighty No.9. Before we get into it, brief history. This game was made by Kaiji Inafune. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly.
Something like that.
He was a designer / executive producer on like every Mega Man game post SNES era. He was upset that Capcom wasn't making any more Mega Man games, so he left and went to start his own knockoff version. This game raised $3 million on Kickstarter and then failed spectacularly due to mismanagement and kind of big-headedness. But it is a great speed game, so we're going to hop right into it now, and there's a lot of stuff right off the bat, so just enjoy. Have fun. This is Mighty No.9. We'll go on 3. 3, 2, whoa.
Sorry, before we start, we have a $100 donation from Sarah.
Oh, heck!
Heck yeah. Sarah says, here's the promised $25 per death in Azure Striker Gun Vault. Shoutouts to Ariel for the run and dying for charity. Also, huge shoutouts to Fleck, Proto, Pidge, and everyone else behind the scenes making this event happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, now we can go.
We ready?
All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Teamwork. So this is Mighty No.9.
Mighty No.9. Thankfully, we can skip all the cutscenes by mashing start. Now, just like Mega Man X, we don't start with our dash, unfortunately, because this game is all about dashing. We have unlimited dashes, including unlimited air dashes. So for the first 3 screens, we're going to be doing this little back jump. This is called Action Jump. And you're going to see it precisely just these 3 screens. There is another version. That's the wrong way. There's another version of this. This is called Action Shoot. What I'm doing here is Action Jump. That one is different in that it makes me invincible temporarily, and that'll be used to give us an invincibility glitch later on. So just remember that, because it won't be visible when I actually do it as part of the glitch. All right, and now we have our dash.
Yay! Now we go faster.
Now we go fast.
Significantly faster. So yeah, this is Mighty No.9. It's a Mega Man knockoff. The main mechanic of this game, it takes, your classic Mega Man jump and shoot and combines it with a sort of enemy combo system and a more in-depth version of Mega Man's collect powers from enemies. So as you go through this game, you can kill an enemy and then dash through it to basically collect its energy. I think they're called like Zells or something. And you can use those Zells to do stuff of variety that you're going to explain.
I'm going to explain that right now. So you see when I hit enemies enough times, they destabilize and turn into a color, and then I can dash through them to kill them. There's 4 different colors, depending on what color they change when I destabilize them. Blue gives me that little power-up that you just saw fly to the corner. That's my E-Tank. Yellow reduces damage and hit stun. Red gives me more damage and piercing shots. And green, which is coming up over here, makes me go fast. Here's some green. Now, unfortunately, Unfortunately, all these buffs you can see have a little timer, and they don't last forever. So we can't really store the speed buffs. We just gotta use them where they are in the run and try to make the best of them. Try to hit them as much as possible. That's Patch. He's the Eddie of this game. And we're at our first boss. Just like Mega Man, we have a big robot that has no bearing on the plot right off the bat. So this is Mash.Bot. We're gonna, we were gonna use our iframes to stand in and shoot, but we were perfectly inside of him. And yeah, we want him to not go across the map like that. Using a bit of a silly claw grip right here, and then he's done.
Hey, there is nothing silly about a good mashing grip.
All right, so to explain how bosses work, because you saw him going purple a couple times there, after X amount of damage, he'll turn purple, and then we need to dash into him to lock in that damage. If we don't do anything, we won't be able to do more damage, and he'll actually start regenerating. That's call.
She's the Roll clone. I love her.
She is infinitely better than Roll, in my opinion. You will see later when we actually get to play as her.
I don't know if I can commentate for this run anymore. I don't know if I can support this Roll hate.
So we're going into the first stage here. This is going to give us our best weapon. You'll see once we actually get it. And there's going to be a lot of random damage boosting through this section because we don't want to really care to fight any of this. And we are going to do the first manual invincibility glitch coming up just over top of this little ridge. And there's some more green that we're trying to get. Okay, so invincibility glitch time. Shoot a box, shoot a thing that explodes, do the action jump, and have the box fall out from under you before you actually leave the ground. So you get the invincibility frames from the action jump, and then the move never ends, so you never stop being invincible.
Nice.
So it does go away, it doesn't last forever. Whenever the screen transitions, like right there, we lose it. Whenever we change weapons, it goes away. And there's a little like kip up move that you can do when you're hanging on an edge by pressing up. Whenever that happens, you lose it as well. These little arenas, some of them are timed for when the enemies appear, and some of them we need to actually defeat a certain amount of enemies. So if you see me just standing around not doing anything, it's because they're on a timer and I don't really need to rush. And we are moving on through the rest of the level. I'm trying to think of what I normally talk about here. Questions?
Looks like Fleck has a donation or something.
Donation! That's a good thing to do.
Yes, we have another $100 from Ariel. He says, as promised, here's $25 for each death. It was all for charity.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. Thank you so much, Ariel. Ariel's run was so good. I love that game.
Amazing!
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 Speaking of amazing.
All right, so we're just moving on through. Good.
Good!
Little upper shortcut area here. We're gonna mash some boxes. So this game actually takes a couple things from Smash Brothers Brawl, specifically the trip mechanic. Yeah, that's. If you ask someone what should you bring into another game from Brawl, I'm sure everyone would say the trip mechanic. So when you land, you have a chance to do this little Superman landing, which sucks because it just kills all your momentum rather than letting you run forward. All right, so here we're up to our first boss battalion. I'm going to take the health here because the strat for him is not care about what he does and just base tank everything.
This robot is a gun with
He
several
is
guns.
a gun.
It's a gun with guns.
It's a gun with guns.
Very deep metaphor for
We're going to use our E-tank
something,
there.
for sure.
Yeah, it's gun control. Have gun control by being the gun. All right, so every boss has a desperation move when they get to about half health. This guy turns into a gun. And then if you get hit by that, it's a one-hit kill. On the harder difficulties, the time that he shoots that is random. So he can fire that immediately or wait like 7 seconds before he shoots you.
That's kind of bad.
The first time I found that out, and the first time most people find that out, is when he does the 1 second shot. And you're like, get ready, go, and you're dead. Okay, so you saw he's not exploding, which is good, because these are our friends, and we're actually going around removing the virus from them. And the rest of the stage proceeds in weakness order, or the rest of the game proceeds in weakness order, and the previous boss that we beat will actually show up in the next level and kind of help us proceed. And they wouldn't show up if we didn't beat them first.
Yeah, this game has a little bit of that kind of dynamic gameplay a la Mega Man 7, 6 even, or I think it's most notable in Mega Man X, where depending on what Robot Masters you defeat, you get different stuff in other stages, which is pretty cool.
I am running forward. Oh, okay, got control again. Cool.
Wow.
That's exciting. All right, controller autopilot. So this is, you can see we have our gun here. It is basically a crash bomber that we can trigger whenever we want. And we're going to use it on this box here to fail to get the invincibility glitch. That's fine. All right, so with the crash bomb, we can basically trigger the invincibility glitch on any box that we find that is not floating in midair by that guy. Yeah, now this would normally let us skip a section of this level by being able to walk through a bunch of drills that are coming up here. It's not a big deal that we missed it. So normally anything that is pink is death. Pink is murderous, and nobody likes it in this game. So there we go. We're just going to drop down here. As you see Battalion there on the side, shooting one of those pillars for us. So because we're not invincible, we want to make sure we're not taking any needless bumps. So I got to adjust my movement just a little bit because I can't walk through everybody. This section here, you're meant to wall cling, but when you first come here casually, everyone thinks you're supposed to like dash through that platform or something, and you just die. And in the Wii U version, it's actually impossible to wall cling there. So you need to do this really precise dash just to play it casually. The Wii U version of this game is terribly broken. Don't play it. So there's Battalion helping us out. He actually saves time, because otherwise you'd have to wait for that missile to go through all the way.
Charge! Got it.
And this is Seismic.
This is not Gutsman.
This is definitely not Gutsman. I don't know.
This is not Gutsman at all whatsoever.
Who told you that this may or may not be Gutsman?
So you seem to be getting a lot of your weapon energy back as you go. Are you picking up refills?
So the way weapon energy works in this game is whenever you absorb something or just wait around for a bit, you get weapon energy back.
Cool.
Come on. Snap out of it.
So that was Gutsman. You saw his desperation move kind of made the room smaller. There's a chance he can be off to those sides when he does it and just kill himself. It's random though, so unfortunately we can't bank on it. So that's Seismic, so take a look for him in the next level, and we're moving on to the game's only real auto-scroller level, the tips menu. The highway stage. This is Brandish. He's going to look a lot like Zero, because Zero is Kaiji's, basically his creation, so he's kind of proud about it. And if you look at the background, you can actually see a bunch of Kickstarter all the signs in the back are from Kickstarter, I guess, donators and whatnot. I don't know what many of them are, but there is an Ego Raptor banner back there if you keep an eye out for it. There it is, right there in the background.
I needed that.
Good.
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 So this is a very horizontal stage. So we just want to keep going fast and use our air dashes to basically stay in the air as much as possible while maintaining forward momentum.
Oh, hey, one of those signs was for the Proto men. Nice. That's awesome.
Changing weapons actually does not pause the in-game clock, so you want to avoid changing weapons as much as possible. Except for in Boss Rush. In the Boss Rush mode in this game, it pauses the clock. So there's an abusive strategy where you change weapons every 2 seconds to get a million projectiles on screen. And that's the strat for the Boss Rush mode in this game, unfortunately.
So do you not have quick weapon switching in this game?
Oh yeah, I guess I can explain that. I actually explain that next screen normally. So let's wait for next screen.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the next episode of Mighty No. 9 Run commentary. These sections here, some enemies spawn after a certain amount of time, and then some enemies spawn. I think I mentioned that already. That's fine. So we just destroyed those enemies rather than absorbing them because it's easier to just stand off to the side. Here's an auto scroller. Seismic's going to help us out here while we get the invincibility glitch. We are now invincible. So he's stopping that red truck. If we hadn't rescued him, that red truck doesn't exist. So he just creates a fire truck to save us from.
Nice.
So this is the auto scroller, and we're invincible, as you can see by me standing in this guy. So we just gotta not fall onto the road, and I can explain the weapon switching now. So if you look under, I guess where my face was, on the left side of the screen, you can see I'm switching between green and brown. You don't just switch weapons like in Mega Man. You actually pre-select your weapon and then press a switch button to switch to it. It's good and bad in that if you're proactive, you can always just be one button press away from the weapon you need. And if you are, what's the opposite of proactive? Con-active.
Reactive?
lazy.
Lazy. That's it.
If you're lazy, then you end up having to mash the button to go through the menu and then switch, and it's no bueno. So we got Brandish here chopping up some cars, and we're just. Yep.
If you switch weapons, if you fire a projectile and then switch weapons, does that projectile stay on the screen?
Some of them do. So
some of them. Okay.
This gun that I have here, if I switch weapons, it will immediately explode, which we use precisely once in the run. But now we're at Brandish. Go away from me. And we're going to use this little dozer ability. So he has a desperation move, Skip, that is currently unknown how to make it happen. I'll let you know if it happens.
That has just become a, tractor.
We are the tractor. We did not get it. Okay, so while he's doing his little monologue, there are somehow random frames where you can actually damage him. And if you can damage him enough to absorb him before he leaves the screen, you can just stop him from doing his move altogether.
Come on.
And that's Brandish.
I love that power. You just become a tractor.
Move.
You just boop, 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 boop. Or
I'm a
you can just
tractor.
bounce on there, and it's so good. Mega Man has nothing like that.
I think
You ain't got nothing on that, buddy.
if
Nothing.
you've seen any of the stuff from Mega Man 11, they started giving him helmets and gun things. I think they saw it here and was like, you know what? It's cool to make him look different. All right, here, I think his head looks like it's a bunch of chocolate-dipped marshmallows. You ever been to, a chocolate fountain? That's
It's from what I read in the Mega Man 11 coverage interviews, because I follow it obsessively. They at least claim they actually wanted to do that from the beginning with Mega Man, but in the games they released never really had the technology until you get to 9 and 10, and then they just wanted to look like 2. So
yeah. All right, so this is Dinah's stage, the elect man of the game, and we have a sword. So a sword does a couple things. It eats all projectiles. And is a sword.
It may also trigger irregularities in other robots on site.
So I'm just noticing that my weapon switch buttons are reversed. So scrolling through the menu is actually reversed, which is going to be interesting.
uh-oh.
That's fine.
That's more like it.
So this is all about just having the yellow buff and using the lack of hit stun to kind of damage boost through things. What do we want? Not the truck. This is one of the few unskippable cutscenes where we see these little massagers. If you play this level as your first level casually, these enemies actually move underneath your regular buster, and so you just really can't kill them. You've got to do the weird action shoot thing to even risk or even have a chance of hitting them. Yeah, it's kind of weird that the weapon switches backwards. Should be okay.
All fall before my blade. Onward, back.
All right, so we're gonna get that. Oh yeah, that was Brand's assist. His help there does nothing. He just blows up some bugs that are on a window. Okay, so this is the notorious pink turbine section. These all one-hit kill you, regardless of invincibility. And we're coming up at the most infuriating part of this casually. This little pink turbine section.
This jump right here.
Right here. Okay, so here,
questionable.
for that section, you need to press down and dash. In every other aspect of this game, when you need to do a low dash, it'll automatically do it for you. But since in that one section, the roof is a kill plane, it doesn't do it for you, and if you dash into it, it'll just, you die. And after you die, it says, hey, use crouch dash.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say to that. Because I remember watching other people doing that and then complaining about how, small the, window, I guess, the space on the floor you have to dash
Yeah, you
from
have a
is.
very
I didn't realize
small
you even
window.
had to down dash there.
Yeah. And it is a very tiny window. So we're going to grab health for safety. And this is Dinah. So she flies, and we have a sword. So we want her to move around on the ground or stay as close to the ground as possible, specifically when she's stunned like that, so we can get a bunch of extra hits while she's transitioning. This is her desperation move. We just do that, and it's done. Oh, Stay on the floor.
I like how the sword is the Strider
And
sword.
she's done. It's actually a scissor, half of a scissor. He was Brandish was supposed to be based on Cutman, and it was originally pairs of scissors, and he'd take them apart. And then that kind of went away, but it's supposed to look like half of a scissor blade.
Interesting. Yeah, I was just referring to like the curved arc. It's very. I mean, I guess Strider's not the only game to do that.
Okay, so we're now moving into my favorite stage, not this one.
This one is also fun.
So this is Counter Shade stage. We are chasing a sniper in, I don't know, the White House, or the Capitol building, or the
Definitely
Pentagon.
not White House.
Yeah. So if we go all the way to the right, we will loop back around to the front. Or, sorry, loop back around to the left. And our objective is to find him and damage him a few times.
This level, I think, is just really cool design-wise. Like, I have never seen anything like this in another game in this genre.
So that's Shade right there. We're going to intentionally not fight him here because that's a scripted visit. And if we leave here, he'll come back to that spot rather than going to a further location another time. Oh, wow. Reverse icon switching. Okay. So that's his weakness, and we need to hit him at least 3 times to make him bring us to the boss fight. And ideally, we only need to do it 3 times. Still getting a couple inputs eaten here. All right, so he reappears back in this room. We need to be nice and close. The attack fires 5 little nodes out at a spread, and we need all 5 nodes to hit for the maximum amount of time. Maximum.
Cowards. Every single one of those meat sticks fled at the first sign of trouble.
All right.
See, I'm not the only robot.
So if he takes us to the boss fight here, lovely. All right, so he should have taken us to the boss fight there. He did not. So we got to do a long run back. This is actually a run killer if you're doing this in a run. What I'm going to do right now, actually, because this is kind of messing me up, is switch my... There. Don't worry. The in-game timer stops during the menu.
It's worth it to take the time.
And we time this within
game. Have a smooth
game.
rest of your run. Don't worry about it.
All right, so we get to see Dinah's assist. She turns off these wires for us. And we're going to use the tractor to just tractor our way through, except for that guy who blocked us. And that guy. All right, so he's about 1 hit away from taking us to the boss fight, so it doesn't matter what we hit him with. You can see him top left on that chandelier over there. Going through his laser beam setup that he has is very time consuming. So not only do we want to avoid coming back here in the first place, but we want to avoid that tripwire thing. All right, so he's got a really cool quick kill. So I'm going to shut up and try to get this.
Sloppy.
That is not the quick throw. So you don't want him going up to these pillars, basically. We can still get the desperation skip. No, we can't. All right, so unideal shade fight.
It happens. So how does this electric weapon work?
So the electric weapon just shoots these little nodes on him.
You've got it all wrong, Shade.
And you can see in this fight, he's going invisible. And
The attack is in 3D. That's awesome.
all right, so he's got clones for the second half. And we tag him again. It keeps damaging him as he moves. And if we're using this on regular enemies, it'll let us absorb them no matter where they are. We don't have to be close as long as they're tagged. And in this boss fight, if he's tagged, he won't go invisible, as you saw. So typically you want him to avoid being on those perches, and then you can kind of juggle him properly. This was a no bueno shade fight. Sorry, No Life. I know you were hoping for a good shade fight on live. If you're watching, I see you. All right, moving onward. We now have Shade's weapon. We're going to the aviator fight. He is the meme boss of this franchise. And if you've played Mega Man X, this should give you shades of Boomer Quanger.
Beck has arrived at the tower. Mighty number
What's
6
cool about this
must be
stage is that there's a lot of vertical movement, which makes things pretty fun.
It's a lot of going up. A lot of the things Avi says are fun to read, so just go ahead and listen.
Siblings.
As you can see, Avi, the robot rampage is not letting up. It's chaos out here. Chaos. Will this be the end of our proud republic, or will a hero emerge to save the day? Sprinter! Whatever happens, Avi News will be there.
Your #1 source for ethical journalism.
So if you're involved in the Mighty No.9 community at all, you'll know the Thanks Avi meme. After this boss fight, he goes on a little tangent and then throws it to himself and thanks himself. That's it.
Beautiful.
So this boss here, we just want to make sure we're dodging their shots. If you take damage while you're dashing, you actually have way longer hit stun. Did I run out of ammo? Well, that's awkward. Well, we're just going to stand here for a bit. So this is this mini boss. Okay.
Got him.
Got
First
him,
try.
got him.
Totally as planned.
First try. Yeah, that's RNG manipulation. All right, so this is this little cutscene is where Shade would come to help. Avi comes to blow up your ship. Shade shows up, saves you. We're not going to see any of that, unfortunately. We got Shade's weapon here, moving onward. And you can tell where you're at here by how the cycles are in this room. If this guy is coming down, you're either really slow or you're ahead. You can actually be so fast that you're early on the cycle and you have to wait anyway. That's always kind of good.
This just in, bad guys spotted on the west side of the radio tower. Bots are in pursuit. Now to Avi for the weather. Thanks, Avi. We've got
Thanks, Avi.
out there today. Be careful.
Ow, hey.
One like
Sniping me like that. All right, so the rest of this is just a little climb up and around the place. We're just trying to avoid getting hit and knocked down. These guys are annoying. Most enemies will stop fighting once they get... Hello, controller.
Ladders are impossible. This is why I run Mega Man
Ladder
8, so I don't
strats.
have to ladders.
What was I going to say? Yeah, certain enemies will still attack even when they're destabilized, and that's kind of annoying.
that's more like
So this is a little just dash on the current section. Anytime we can grab one of these and go higher, and get a little jump, we get a boost. And if you can grab them as they're going up, they do ascend faster than we do it normally. And we're into the Avi fight. Here's the second and only other use of the action shot. Right off the bat, little swag ricochet shot.
Cool. Nice.
All right, so Avi is the Storm Eagle of this game. We have enough ammo for 3 shots, and he takes 3 shots to destabilize. So if we miss him once, or if he eats one of our shots, which sometimes it happens, he'll just get hit and not register, that's bad.
please stand by.
So you can see sometimes our ammo is just barely recharging in time for that 3rd shot. There's no way to skeep this, or skeep.
High pressure front coming
Speak
up.
good.
Another attack.
He does have a dive move.
Direction twice.
No, Avi, please. There's a dive move. All right. So we caught him there. Looks like he regenerated just a little bit, which is not bueno.
Found it.
Yeah, so he should have been dead there. We got one more shot left. We can shoot him while he's flying by like that and finish him off. And that's Avi. And he spends the rest of the game spouting puns at us.
Fantastic. Truly the best reward for beating a boss in a Mega Man like I've ever seen.
I can definitely say so far this run is going adequately.
I mean, hey, that's all that matters here.
I'm living up to this, the name of the marathon. All right, so next we're moving into Pyro stage. This is the fire and oil stage, and our job is to be invincible for most of it, so we don't have to deal with the fire and oil. So thankfully there's a box right there. We are now invincible, and we're just gonna mosey on through, trying to be efficient in our movement. So this is the first stage numerically, and for whatever reason, didn't get that guy. For whatever reason, it's like one of the hardest. So when many reviewers played this game, this is what they got to see first. And this has so many one-hit kills and falling fireballs, and it is not a fun level to play with just the Buster. And I think having this as stage 1 contributed to the terrible reviews of this game. That's just mine.
So how long has the invincibility glitch been known for? Because I don't remember seeing it last I was watching speedruns of this game.
We knew it... hold on, we're invincible again? Yeah, so we've known it for a while now. When Mighty No.9 was run at GDQ, we knew about it, and it was being used, especially because that one was a one-hit run. Yeah, it's a blink and you'll miss it thing. Thankfully, we're immune to these falling pillars, and then Avi's going to help us out over here. Thanks, Avi.
I love Avi.
This section here has falling pillars and falling fireballs and falling platforms. If you get bonked here, you might be able to recover, but odds are you'll just get hit by a pillar or the platform will leave and then you're dead. Anyway, here's Pyro. So for Pyro, I'm just going to be quiet and you're going to watch what's going on here. Hey, what's up? Alright, so you can actually juggle him so he doesn't get a chance to move at all.
It's no use, Beck. He's too far gone. You'll have to stop him by force.
Alright, and that's Pyro. So if he jumps across the room, you have a very small window to catch him with a dash. Sometimes he'll just stay on one side of the screen and then it's really easy to keep him locked in place. Pyro. Once again, we are curing all of our friends. We're moving into Cryo stage. Cryo stage is the second stage numerically, and it's a water ice stage where you can't ledge grab. So, as you can see, if you're a reviewer and you're like, oh man, this first stage is hard, maybe I'll try the second stage, and you get greeted by this. Yeah. Sign your own death warrant. So we have a down dash. I haven't really mentioned that very much, but we have a down dash. There is a whole section of the stage beneath me here, and I'm pretty sure everyone who plays this casually just does this. And just dashes all the way to the side, which is where you need to go. Most people don't even know what's down there. Some say it doesn't exist.
Whoa. Careful there, buddy.
Just testing it. Check, check. Okay, it's good. You can move up against that wall there and down dash, and you will perfectly avoid all the pink death lasers here.
Yeah, the water.
Hey.
It's pretty easy in this game. Ladders continue to be the final boss. However.
So if you get hit by an enemy in the water, you have this slow little float of shame as you fail to barely reach the ladder. All right, so now we're in the ice territory, and we want that to explode right like that so we don't have to stop moving. And we get to the ping pong mini bosses.
Nice to see you, Beck.
Cryo is my second favorite master here, or mighty, if you will. And if you do this casually without the weapon, without Battalion's weapon, they're a pain. Because the floor is icy, everything's icy.
I'll get the waterworks back up.
We do the exact same fight here, except this time Cryo is on top, shooting ice at us, and we kill them fast enough that they're not really an issue. What do I want to do? We're going to do this. Alright, so Cryo has a quick kill. Let's see if we can go 1 for like 5.
I believe.
I believe. Heart of the cards. So Pyro actually removes the ice physics from this fight. That's his assist, which is pretty sweet. missed it. There is a backup. Wow. All right, we can kind of actually... All right, so that is what I should have done the first phase. What? Why am I switching weapons? Interesting. Okay. No bueno. All right, so not ideal cryo fight. Not ideal.
That happens. Playing video games continues to be very difficult.
Yeah. All right, but we get to try to see this quick kill again. So it involves you going to this room with a couple charges of Pyro's little AoE move here. And you catch him once while you're jumping in, and then one more time as he's rising to the ceiling. Like that. And then you don't want him to shoot a little bouncy ball. Alright, so that skips one whole phase of him going up. And he's done. Alright.
Very nice.
That was a lot smoother the second time around. You gotta fail it once to show everyone what the fail looks like. And that is the last of the Mighties. So we're moving on to the quote-unquote Wily stages next. The first one is actually a Kickstarter stretch goal incentive where we get to play as Call, who is better than Roll.
New content in extra mode.
I don't want to play extra challenges. You want? All right, prison stage.
Opinions.
So we get to play as Call here. She has a couple notable differences. One, she only has one shot on screen at a time. Two, she can't absorb anything. Three, she can hover. And she's got a little shield barrier thing that only gets used later on, which you'll see. And she also says everything she does out loud as she does it.
I mean, it's anime. You have to. If you don't say it out loud, you can't actually do the thing. These are the rules.
Sprinter. So her level here is mostly about running around, grabbing keys, and avoiding the Daleks. Shout out to any Doctor Who fans.
I suppose they are, yeah, aren't they?
They are very, very Dalek-y. So we're trying to get as close as we can to these boxes so that the one shot at a time is not an issue. And then just progressing through the level. We're going to hover over these guys rather than
Nice.
taking the high road. And we get to this little arena. Fun fact, if you look at the screen, that screen is actually like live. I don't know why I find it so amusing, but I can like, yeah. These bombs are on a timer. We can't kill them. They just explode after a while and angrily claw towards us. So we just want to shoot them away. Jump, jump, jump. This is a good example of the stage having enemies on a timer. So it doesn't matter how fast I kill these guys because we have to wait for this bomb to die anyway. So I can just take my time and then wait for him. So we're gonna just flank that guy on the left and he's gonna die to this big blade when it comes by. And we're now moving into the most infamous trick of this game. I call it the dropped call. There's a section where you're supposed to hover down through a series of precarious section of instant death, but we're gonna try to do it without hovering and just dropping and dashing. Given my track record so far, I don't have high hopes, but let's see what we can do here. First try.
Easy.
I got one. I got that one. I'm happy. So we recharged our shield, and we're moving into this boss fight here. It is a big robot dog with a familiar color scheme, if you know any other evil robot dogs in the Mega Man series.
Do you remember Avi's advice?
Okay, so this is a really long and repetitive boss fight. We shoot out its eye, it walks across the room and knocks itself over, shoots out this little laser, and where we stand under its mouth, and then it'll summon a box. Inside the box will either be a Dalek or a bomb. If it's a Dalek, he'll eat it, regenerate his eye, we shoot out his eye, we do it again. If it's a bomb, well, just watch. Alright, it explodes, he takes damage, and we do it all over again. Unfortunately, the first 4 boxes are scripted, so we're going to get 2 bombs, 2 Daleks, that in a random order, but we will always get 2 bombs, 2 Daleks, which will leave it barely alive. And then we have to hope the 5th box, which has a 50-50 chance of being either a bomb or a Dalek, gives us a bomb. The only reason, if it's a Dalek, you'll see here we have to wait for this little animation where he regenerates his eye, and then we shoot out his eye again. So that's the only time save really in this boss fight. Otherwise, it's just watching this dog trollop his way around and fail to hurt us.
Pork. Dogs are good.
Jump, 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 jump.
Maybe not this one specifically, but
Yeah, he's not an ideal dog.
no.
I don't know why he's not attacking the big fat guy in the background. We are clearly the threat. Little robot girl. There is one very risky strat you can do in this fight. You can make him, instead of eating one of the Daleks, you can make him crush it. So he doesn't regenerate, and you don't get to do that little tick of damage. Because right now, the amount of health that he has, if he ate a bomb, would kill him. So we could have skipped this Dalek and risked everything that the last box would have been a bomb. But if we miss that, then it ends up being like a 20-second, let's watch the cycle again. And you save maybe 5 seconds if you get it. So not ideal. Alright, and we want a bomb.
Ah.
Why for you do this? Alright, so now we just gotta mash out his eye and he will be done. Mash out his eye and he will be done. And that's a canine fight. You can take a look at the professor in the background. Someone felt this animation deserved to be in the game. Yeah.
Mission clear.
Honestly, I agree with that decision.
Yeah. So he's just been standing there. He's got to do something. You did it. He didn't attack me once. All right, so we're moving on. Say bye to Call. We don't see Call again.
Bye, Call. Love you forever.
Why does he keep bringing me here? It's like, play these extra modes. All right, we are moving into the Robot Factory. This is the, hey, use all your weapons level.
System ready? Go.
We are back with Beck, and I'm going to try to be optimal with this. There's a couple tricks.
Look at all those parking spaces. If only that's what it were like here at EGLX.
We'll just wonder that. All right, so,
Security system
hey,
is scrambled.
use your
As it is, you must hit the panel there to open the door.
double input.
It only remains open for an inch, but that should pose no problem for you.
So we got to use our propeller to like slow hover up here. Get bonked on the head apparently.
I appreciate the zeal, Bat. But could you take the
We got a whole bunch of talking going on in the background between all the other mighties that we've saved. This you're meant to do a slow hover down, but we can just cautiously navigate our way through. Here's a mini boss on the first view of the evil button. Is the true enemy of this game. It's behind the possessed robot factory. Little mini boss, and moving on to the rest. Counter Shade's weapon, we've got a little climb where we're using the ricochet portion of his weapon to clear out these invisible enemies and funky pinwheels. Alright, so I'm kind of low on life. Patch did not show up. Alright, so we're gonna hope for good RNG here. So this is the intro boss. Wow. We're gonna hope he does not do what he's doing right here. Ah! Alright, we got him.
Nice.
So he's weak to the blades, but also weak to Avi's propeller. So if he goes up to the top, at least you have a backup. Where do we want to go here? All right, so we're at the boss rush room. And thankfully, there's no boss rush because these are all our friends. We don't need to fight our friends. In fact, our friends are helping rush them. So if you look in the background, you see all those tanks look a lot like the boss rush tanks from Mega Man games. But yeah, we're not having any of that in this game. We're gonna squad up and take this building down together. Because the real treasure was the friendships we found along the way.
And the weapons we stole from them.
And
Don't
the
forget
weapons
those.
we stole from them along the way that we probably could have just taken from them to begin with, like while they were still our friends.
Here we go.
They're actually doing damage, very minimally. In the next room, you will see the other two mighties. Whoa! Oof.
Video games are hard.
All right, so that was supposed to be a jump. There we go. Look, we did it. We did the jump.
Crash and burn!
There we go.
Burst into battle, the tip of the spear.
And we are coming up on the granddaddy version of the evil button. Behold.
The evilest
This is a
button.
very important quick kill. You lose 40 seconds if you miss it. So I'm going to try to not miss it.
Oh, nice. It just leaves the thing right here for you.
And I missed it. Oh, I got it.
Nice.
All right, so you have a very small window to get that done. Man, the marathon pressure is real. Got to shake it out. Yeah, so if you run out of ammo, usually you're not going to get through that, and it'll drop another tank down, and then you have to fight its desperation phase, which is 40 seconds of dodging bullets from the sky.
Ooh, that sounds neat.
Yeah, so that's another
My
instant
favorite kind of speed
run ender. All right, moving onwards to the Battle Coliseum. This is the last stage of the game. You remember the Battle Coliseum, right?
No, totally.
From the start of the game? It was in the opening still image.
Very important plot point
Yes.
Beck has landed in the Coliseum.
in the plot that we were totally paying attention to.
Signatures.
Just like flashbacks to yesterday. Plot.
What is plot? For anyone who's wondering, the plot of this game is quote-unquote Proto Man goes crazy, Proto Woman in this game, and absorbs everything. And we need to go stop her.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, I think it's like the proto... Well, I guess this is sort of spoilers, but oh well. The prototype of Beck.
Yes.
This, like, formless sentient thing starts, like, going crazy and absorbing tons and tons and tons of robots, and then goes evil, and then makes a bunch of other robots evil, too, and...
Here we go.
Super original writing that is not at all a copy of other Mega Man things.
Oh, never.
Sure.
Creating a path for me?
All right, so we're coming up on these little blocks that look like sea anemone things. When you damage them, they turn into stand-onable blocks. That's a word. I'm going with it. And you can destroy them, and then when you get far enough away,
Attack strategically.
they reappear. You can look on the left there, see how it reappears? There you go. So you need to kind of stay close to everything as you're going here. We're just going to play this one safe. Yep. Safe. Very safe. All right, so as I was saying, you see these sea anemone blocks here. You shoot them and they disappear, and then when you get far enough away, they reappear.
If you destroy them, they'll use the cells around them to reconstitute. Attack strategically.
There you go.
All right, we
Made
did
it
it.
past the literally impossible jump.
Totally impossible. No one has ever got this far before.
World record pace.
World record pace. So this is a maze using those blocks where it wants you to kind of shoot them and make them respawn in such a way that you can get through. And that's that. This is the second auto-scroller in the game. It's a little elevator ride. Thankfully, these blocks that turn into destructible blocks we can use to get our invincibility glitch on.
Program with a single prime directive. To grow,
We're invincible now. Yay.
she will pursue any course that allows her to assimilate
How relevant is that death? Oh, wait, not at all. Good.
I realized later.
So when you die, you lose your E-Tank. E-Tanks are level specific. And for this boss, the final boss, it's helpful to have it. Not necessary. I shouldn't need it, but given everything else.
Can't believe you just talked through the like dramatic plot reveal there.
What?
That's where they
Oh.
tell you that Beck is like
The prototype?
well, Trinity is Beck's prototype, and it's supposed to be this shocking reveal. It's just like, yeah, okay, sure.
So the wall on the left there that I just went under, because we're invincible, we can go right under it and have to not worry about bonking and accidentally falling off screen. So if we make good time in this section, we would be able to catch those stairs while they're still out and make it to the top here. All right, so big health because we've died a lot, and we are going into the Trinity fight. There is a Phase 1 skip. Phase 1 is basically Yellow Devil. Let's see if we can end on a high note. Nope.
Ah, almost.
So this is normally where you get to. Stop hitting me, please. All right, that's Phase 1. And now she turns into a more ominous form. A giant plant.
Whoa. Plants are scary.
All right, so basically, all we want to do is hit her a couple times as she's moving across. I'm taking some safer strats to make sure we get this. So normally you can do this in just 2 waves. All right, so where am I? All right, we're probably not going to get this. No, okay. So we have to watch a desperation attack, which is this funky laser beam here. It does a lot of damage, so if I do get hit by it, I will die, probably. Thankfully, knowing where the holes is very much helps. All right, so we're back to this section again. We're gonna play it nice and slow, and that's finishing her off. She's gonna show up in the middle. It's not gonna do anything. We can eat her little pellet here just for lulls. And time is when I grab this orb. Time.
I'm trying.
We're trying.
Time, flag.
Time, error, input, error.
There we go.
So that's not actually super terrible given everything that went wrong in that run. So I'm fine with that. So we do use in-game time to see how things go. Oh, hey guys, by the way, do we have time for the 4-hour credits?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, sure.
So
I don't need to run anything. We don't
No.
need to leave here until like 10.
Yeah. They individually list all 71,000 Kickstarters, and there's a pretty cool Mega Ran provided song. But we're gonna skip all that. Just look at our in-game time, which is probably gonna be like 40 something. Oh, there's Dr. Wiley. I unlocked Boss Rush.
Yay! New tips have been added. You should check those out to learn how to play this game.
Yeah. All right, 38-30. So that's
Nice.
For what it was, it was. So that was Mighty number 9. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching. Shout outs to Green Z Saver, Randomized, Mr. Cab, all the crew, Techie Tume, and No Life, who's the most recent joining person to the party. That's it. I'm Gumjaw, Proto, people on the couch. That's it. Take care. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Coming up next in a couple minutes, some nerd named Proto Magical Girl is going to do some actual Mega Man games.